Mrs. Essence. What's popping? How you doing this evening?
I'm good.
You feel good?
I definitely do.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
I feel great. I'm happy to have you here this evening.
Yeah.
It's a few things I want to talk to you about because you've been ducking me on my show.
Really?
Yeah.
We gonna do that?
Have you or have you not been ducking me?
I watch your shows afterwards.
You do watch my shows. I didn't say you don't support me. I said you've been ducking coming on here. Is that a thing or have you been strategically trying to avoid?
Not at all. No, not at all.
Having a conversation on the Jermaine Hall Show.
No, definitely not.
That's not a thing?
No, it's definitely not a thing.
So let me apologize in advance for accusing you of things and crimes you have not committed. You know what I'm saying? But I'd like to welcome you. You are a friend of the show, of course. I'm going to get right to it. I don't even want to bullshit.
Go ahead, get right to it.
Crack a few jokes or nothing. So there's a video out right now where a young lady explains that she was once married. It's actually currently going viral on my page. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't just yet.
Okay, so it's currently going viral on my page. She admitted to being married previously, but she found out she didn't love him. She just loved everything he could do for her. All his resources, everything that he does for her. But she also, for me, now there's a lot of men on there that are mad at her because they said you just another tramp or whatever name you want to throw in there that used him and moved on, right? But she never bashed him. She said any woman would be lucky to have him. That's what she said about her ex-husband.
Yeah.
But she said it's a difference in between being in love and then in love with what a man can do for you.
Correct. It absolutely is. Yeah.
My question to you, are the optics bad overall for women doing this? That are just taking the good man for the resources versus I'm actually into getting to know you and being with you and loving you?
Okay, so there's a dynamic to that. So, damn, that's kind of deep. I understand where she's coming from. She was taught that a man is a provider and a protector, and that's what she went by. However, as a human being, especially as a woman, there's something that we feel a little bit more than just that. And that's what she could not figure out, according to what you're saying. Like, she wasn't in love with him, but she loved what he could do for her. And that is what we're taught from our ancestors, our great grandmothers, basically ancestors. But that's what we're taught. But at the same time, we feel a need to have something else a little bit more than that. And that's what we're searching for. And so if from what you're telling me is she was in love with more so what the man can actually do for her, she didn't actually love the man. But guess what? Loving the man, obviously, she wouldn't have made a post about it, but loving the man and being in love with him as a person, along with even if he couldn't provide every single thing that she was looking for as far as, survival and providing and all those things, but that love is more important to her. And I think that a lot of us women, we definitely, we need that. And there's something within us that we just have to have it. There has to be a balance. It can't be just one or the other. It has to be both. And I think men y'all are simple. Let's just be honest. Y'all are simple. And it has to, y'all feel like it has to be one or the other. But with us women, it has to be a little bit of both. It's checks and balances. Life is checks and balances. And she was missing that love and that compassion, that caressing. And I just think that is what us women, we just need both we just need both of those things. And so I completely understand she wasn't in love with him. She loved the guy that catered to her. It's just what it is. And she needed that. So that's what she needed. So yeah, I understand where it was she was coming from. I completely get it altogether.
Okay. I like that. Are we bypassing how the man feels in this situation?
Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, one thing a woman's going to do is tell you how she feel. Yes or no?
That's right.
Okay. So we're going to tell you how we feel. So it's up to y'all whether or not y'all either going to listen to it or not listen to it. So that's just how we are.
So this is not a thing of right or wrong to you. This is a thing of be assertive.
Correct. It's not even right or wrong because there's really no right or wrong when you're dealing with a man and a woman because we're different. There is no right or wrong. There has to be a sense of, there has to be a sense of checks and balances. And I feel that men and women together actually have to correspond with that equally.
I like it.
Yeah, that's just what it is. We actually have to understand each other and we have to respect each other. And I think that's where we've just gone wrong.
You think we're lost in the communication?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most people actually listen only to respond, but we don't actually listen to understand. And that's where we've gone wrong. So, okay. Yep.
So I witnessed, not even witness, you can go see it yourself. Anybody out there on the Jermaine Hall page on Facebook. So you go in the comments and you see guys saying, these are how women are raised now. They're raised to come and get the bag from the man. They're raised to take from the man rather than reciprocate the type of energy the man is giving. And then vice versa, the men are saying, or rather the women are saying, hey, listen, we got to get this bag. These men don't give a fuck about us. I think that it's a gender war only because of what they're seeing on social media. I remember growing up and we didn't have these problems because we didn't know as much as we could see on social media. Yeah, with being able to be exposed to all the negativity versus the positivity, do you think that it would be better if we got rid of the internet and just had to be personable and meet each other?
I'm 50-50 on the internet because I stay in Atlanta right now. So I do see somewhat of the necessity of the internet. However, I feel that we just use it the wrong way. Most of us do. Most of us don't use it for actual business. We claim it, but we don't actually use it for business. Yes, I do feel... I'm sorry. Yeah, it definitely is turned into a damn...
It's a hunch fest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's or a... what do you want to call that?
Soliciting?
Soliciting, but soliciting your actual person, yeah. Right? And then... excuse me. And also just pretending to be something that you're just not.
A cover.
Correct.
A mask.
Correct. And, again, it gets, I had to get to a certain particular point to where I have to ask people, hey, I don't use filters. Do you mind if I take a picture with you without a filter? You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty bad. I don't want to use a filter to take a picture with you, but I have to ask. It's beyond, it's beyond me. But anyway, I think that people that are married, they'll do a whole lot better without social media or being too involved with the imagery and the idea of what people should look like, their lifestyles, because at the end of the day, they're called reels for a certain reason. They're called highlights for a certain reason. They're called stories for a reason. It's all because those are the highlights of your life, but nobody actually puts on there what their actual struggles are. And that is a problem. That is definitely a problem because it paints a picture like everything is fine. You're not fine, though. You're not fine.
I got asked a question the other day. Do you think marriage is dead? What would you say to that?
No, marriages are not dead. I think the principles of marriage is probably dead. And I mean that by saying people have lost I'm trying to word it correctly. People have lost like the idea what marriage actually really is. I've actually witnessed somebody actually leave their actual fiance because she had cancer. You know what I mean? Like, people have completely lost, like...
Under what circumstances?
Cancer. Oh, cancer. Yeah, no, I'm actually witnessed this personally they were my friend.
So, like...
Stage 4.
Like, you would... Like,
packed up his bags and he left.
Going on prior to
Nope. Just, he couldn't deal with the fact that I don't know how she's going to end up. I have to deal with her having cancer, and he left. Packed up all his shit, and she came back from, he dropped her off at chemotherapy treatment, and then he left. And,
never came
back. And all of his shit was gone when she came back. So.
Okay. So I was about to play devil's advocate, but that's a cowardly way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But that goes back to...
I do know some people don't have the mental capacity to
correct, and they don't. Nope, they do not.
Or any type of...
Correct, they do not.
Deep situation, right?
Correct, they do not.
So can we really ask them to man up or woman up to say, I can't deal with
it? It all comes to understanding your vows.
They were married?
Going to be married. Let's just be honest. I've never been married, but I know those goddamn vows.
Yeah, but they never said them to each other.
I've never been married, but I know those vows. If a man asks a woman to marry her, what does that mean? And I'm asking...
I know what he's attempting to
okay,
get to,
and that's okay.
I'm saying...
But to just pack your bags and never say nothing at all?
I still call that a coward.
No, it is. No. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Strongly.
And I agree with you.
Like, at least be able to look me in my face and say, hey,
nope,
listen,
he didn't do it.
I can't stand in that with you.
Nope, he didn't do it. He just left.
I know some women that have been hurt because they had a death in the family and the man left.
And she died.
The man left before they even had the death in the family. She just wanted him there for her before they died, and the man backed off. You know, you're going through too much. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's like because I'm used to death. I've seen it in person.
Well, you know what?
But everybody's not built like that.
My thing is this: if you have that type of mindset, at the end of the day, just stay with her until you see she didn't make it.
Right. And this was a friend of yours. My condolences to you.
Yep. It happened. I'm 40 now. This happened when I was 28.
There's been a large number of black celebrities divorcing lately.
Yeah.
Right. I don't understand what the investment into other people's relationships that the fans, supporters, or haters have, because I've never been like that. So let's just talk about Megan Good, her divorce. They had it. Now she's with, I forget his name, the big actor.
Jonathan Majors,
right?
Yeah.
So
possibly
they're together.
My second cousin.
None of it moved me. I don't care if you left dude and was with dude the next day, or y'all was together while you was still married, getting separated. I don't know why people are so invested in other people's relationships, but here we are. Is it a problem for a black man to become wealthy and date outside of his race? Should the optics be so bad that he chooses who he's around?
You have to actually be very more specific.
Let me be very specific.
Yeah, because
this is how first I'm going to give you what I feel like. What we know is How many black people are in those spaces?
Correct. I've already
Black
taken that
women,
to game.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
And these men become wealthy, and they're at these Hollywood venues or wherever the world.
Remember, I worked for luxury hotels.
Okay,
I
so
met them.
Great. So now,
Personally,
if that's who they see the most of is outside of their race,
yes,
that's probably who they're going to propose to.
It's not just that, but continue.
We'll get to that. I'm saying, does it strike you as odd that they marry outside of their race at such a high rate?
Nope.
All right, so give me that. Give me that insight. Why does it not strike you?
It does not strike me because, to be honest with you, they live differently than we do. People with money, they live differently than we do. That's just the honest to God. People, I'm going to tell you something about us black people. Let's just be real. We have a problem with structure. And it has actually been that way since the fucking beginning of time. That's just the honest to God truth. You can go all the way back to where even before we were brought over here to this shitty ass US, because it's shitty over here, but we don't do well with structure except from a certain particular type of stature. And so oftentimes when people with money tend to make a certain amount, they are around a particular type of person, and they stick to that particular type of person. Once, I'm gonna tell you something. I've worked in luxury hotels for well, I'm not into it now because I'm a student. I'm a medical student now, but for 15 years, and I worked for luxury hotels, and people with money live definitely differently than we do. And they operate differently than we do. And unless you're actually around people like that, you will never understand. But there's a different type of caliber, and there's a different type of way that you have to actually conduct yourself that a person that lives within our means, they would never understand. And they go along with dating, of course, white women and people outside of our black culture because we don't know how to conduct ourselves upon that type of platform in which they're going to be around, and the people that they're going to be around. We don't know how to do that. That's just an honest to God truth. We don't. We think we do, and we think we can just suddenly just turn it on and off, but you just cannot. It is an actual skill. And
so for you, code switching is not a thing for us as much as we like to believe.
Correct.
Okay.
That was my main struggle. I remember getting my first evaluation. I actually worked for Four Seasons Hotel, 14th Street in Atlanta. And that's like the creme de la creme of hotels is Four Seasons. And I worked for them. And my only critique was, hey, you look mean and you have to you have to walk this particular way. You have to smile all the time, but you also have to say these particular things. And it was something definitely that I had to adjust to, and I had to actually learn. It took a particular manager to actually teach me how to conduct myself in that type of environment, because I'm telling you, they live differently. And that is why they venture to the other side, because we as a culture, as black people, we don't operate that way. We just don't. And I'm not saying it's wrong and I'm not saying it's right, but when you have money, there's a different type of caliber. We don't do as good with that. We just don't. And it is literally a skill, and it took me a year, technically 10 months to actually learn it. But it took me 10 months to learn that particular skill. You have to learn how to walk, talk, conduct yourself to even be around that type of platform of people. So that's why they do that.
I got a problem with the verbiage. So what is so bad about us being ourselves? And I'm not talking about our culture where it's purely bad behavior. We ain't talking about that. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about a well-behaved you.
Yeah.
Outside of the experience in that environment. Mm-hmm. I remember you from way back.
Yeah.
You wasn't.
Nope.
Outrageous. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying,
but I had to
what's
learn.
wrong with You're just saying for that environment, this is how you walk and talk.
Yep.
And it's no different than when I went to the military. This is how you walk and talk.
Correct.
So you're not speaking to black people. You're not enough for this world. It's just a certain way it's been run, and this is how it's going to go if you want to stick around. You have
to do more
than what you're used to. There's structure.
I mean, there's that, but you have to do more to say that you are.
Are you talking about because of the color of my skin?
Correct. I've literally. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I had an experience at my job, and I battled with this within hospitality, working for luxury hotels. Because again, you know, the type of clientele I dealt with, they were like literally millionaires, and I literally had a woman say to the front desk, "Oh my God, I love the manager. She speaks so well. Who is she?"
Been there.
Oh, who are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was, I mean, she saw me, but it was still the simple fact that, you speak well. It wasn't expected. And damn, it's a black girl that actually manages this restaurant. Like, it's top, top scale restaurant, upscale restaurant. And she was just like, oh, well, she spoke so well, like she was impressed. And I said, well, I speak well as far as whom, ma'am? You know, I had to get interrupted by the front desk manager, but at the end of the day, that's what I mean by conducting yourself. They expect more out of you just due to the fact that you're black. And so when men make a certain caliber of money, they venture towards that because they don't have to deal with having to, quote unquote, I hate to say it this way, but train you correct on how to conduct yourself. Because even I had to learn on my job. That's a fact. That is literally a fact. And we as black people don't want to accept it, but it is the way that it is.
So I'm going to say this.
And to be honest, we actually need to learn that because it's been plenty of time I try to support a lot of black businesses. Your cakes turned out not so good. Okay, I was nice about it, but what? What do you mean? You don't like this? And then it's like a whole show, and it's, I have to fight for my money back when your cake is really trash.
I've been in situations where the business wasn't so good, or the customer service was horrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
This, that, and the third, right? But I don't want to go there yet. I want to go back to accepting their world versus our culture or our interactions within the community, right?
I'll get deep on that. Trust me.
We don't have to accept that we're not enough, right? But we do have to accept what people consider good service.
Correct.
And good behavior.
And it's actually all the same, whether you're white or black. It's all the same.
Right. So what I was going to say is there's no argument. Good behavior is good behavior. Respect is respect.
Correct. That's why I said it's all the same. Absolutely.
So I don't want to sit here and speak like I haven't met some country folks. I'm from the bottom of the country.
Oh, and I love them.
That I really couldn't understand everything they said.
I love them.
But their spirit was so good, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And then I've also met East Coast people that have used certain verbiage that I'm like, what are you talking? What does that even mean? Right? But their spirit was so good. So because we are so different, I don't think that it's a problem that world was created for this type of behavior to happen. I think it's a problem that they're saying this is a wall of the rich and wealthy versus the
Well, the
mediocre
pheasants
people.
and right. Pheasants and then
tax bracket.
There is
this tax bracket
and it
and
is
down, right?
absolutely. That I just literally explained that.
Yeah.
There is a particular way. That's why I said specifically. I work for luxury hotels.
I've been to those. I'm saying I'm not against that. There's a criteria.
Yeah, correct.
And a certain behavior. I just don't want to stick it on the blacks that we can't when we really can. It's just the majority don't care enough to know about it, to learn and want to be there.
Correct. And so yes, you're 50-50 on that. And I'm going to tell you something. You're absolutely right. There's a part that doesn't, well, okay, let me just say it this way. We don't care to learn about it because we wasn't taught.
That's from the jump. But I'm talking about today where our black people, it's more millionaires now than ever, right? In the black community.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to look up.
However, it's not enough. I don't think it's still even close to.
No, it's not. But I'm going to tell you why it's not enough.
Many geniuses.
There's, I'm actually about to get into that.
Go ahead.
Look up statistically. I know my statistics. Most entrepreneurs don't even have employees these days.
No.
At least 80%. And I'm going to tell you why.
Become a millionaire by yourself online.
Hold on. That's actually not a good thing. It's not.
Depending what you're doing.
No, absolutely. No.
Depending what you're doing. Because if you're on the stock market, you don't need no employees.
I'm looking at the type of businesses a lot of black people have. It's either selling clothes.
Businesses, right.
Hold on. Selling clothes. Am I not right? Selling clothes. You're selling something. You're either selling clothes, makeup, wigs, anything that has to do with looks, right?
Music, shoes, typical things.
Exactly. Apparel. Apparel and cosmetics. That's what we do.
Or food. Damn, I forgot about food.
I don't know much about food. I can't speak about food.
Man, we got $1 million chefs everywhere on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, everywhere. They get paid from showing.
Barbers are millionaires now.
Yeah. I mean, that's showing what you can do, but I'm literally staying true to actually selling your business and actually having a business open in the public, not just online where it looks good. Right?
You're talking about
I don't mean to discredit
businesses?
actual businesses.
But the wave is the internet now.
That's our problem. But that's not even our topic. I'm trying to stay on topic.
Okay. Let me stay objective too. Go ahead.
I'm staying on topic. So, for they don't even have employees. It's rare. It's very rare. You can actually look it up on the actual census. Enough of us black people don't even pay attention to the damn Census Bureau. But you actually need to look up the Census Bureau. And I'm going to tell you something. That shit tells you a lot. I pay attention to the Census Bureau for several reasons, and it'll give you the actual breakdown of everything. You can actually look into the Census Bureau, look up CDC, all this stuff, divorce rates, everything is underneath the Census Bureau, right? So when they come knocking at your door, I'm telling y'all, actually answer the questions that's on those papers. But anyway, the Census Bureau is actually the telltale because that is from a different generation. Correct. We were better off then, let's just be honest, as a black people than we are now. Yes or no?
Overall, from my experiences, yes.
Correct. White people have been pretty much consistent. They treat you like shit. Service.
They treat you like shit or they treat you great. And
correct.
It depends on where the fuck you went.
Correct.
And it's rated where the fuck you went.
Exactly. But that's my point, though. But there's that consistency, though. But we don't do that well with customer service. I mean, it's just...
Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand. So, have you met the people our people, met us that said,
I live in Atlanta.
I've tried to shop with y'all. But y'all treat us like shit. And this is our people talking to our people, right?
That is where I'm stemming this from.
This is what I'm going to say next.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go on to start their business and treat people like shit. I've experienced that. And I'm like, how you going to say you went to a black business,
we lack this, we don't have that skill. And I'm meaning as a whole. I know people like to take the whole.
It is no
100%.
It is no skill to wake up and look at another person and understand that I'm going to lead with respect and love.
No, it actually is. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now.
I'm telling you, I grew up.
I understand how you grew up.
No,
it
was no question that loving somebody wasn't okay.
You can love somebody. How many times have a person loved somebody and they didn't actually respect them though? Let's just be honest. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of women, I guarantee you, that they'll tell you, if they watch this, they're gonna tell you that, oh, I know he loved me, but he just didn't. He didn't know how to treat me. He just didn't know how.
I think the respect is before the love.
No, and it does. However, sometimes you're absolutely right.
I mean,
sometimes,
every time. I personally don't think you can get to the love without the respect. That's step one.
No, you'd be very surprised.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
Loving somebody and lacking respect.
Okay.
Because for me, I'm just going to speak for me. For me, the moment the respect is gone, baby, you can guarantee. Only love I got for you is God told me to love my brothers and sisters, and that's I'm real fickle on that. I ain't even learn how to do it. God told me to do it, but I'm telling you from my brain, if the respect ain't there, you can probably look in my eyes and see that they're empty.
Okay, so again,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I know.
No, I'm asking you. No. Can you love somebody without the respect? The respect can be gone.
I personally cannot. But I'm telling you that there are people. You have to understand that there are people that are raised differently.
Absolutely.
I understand what you're talking about, but I've seen differently. I've actually studied differently. I'm a very educated person.
We both are. Don't do me on this.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for myself. We all come in different calibers. And sometimes you may not understand a particular person, but you also have to look at their background, how they were raised, though. It's very rare. It's not that it doesn't happen at all. Nothing's ever 100%. But
we're not speaking in that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but no, I have to make that clarity because a lot of people go by that shit. It's stupid. But nothing is absolute. Nothing is 100%, right? So let's just go by majority. And it's actually been statistically proven that most of our behavior is environmental. Only like 10, I think it said 17%. Shit.
Make it out the environment.
Yes. Well, yes. And 17% are just really born, really something's wrong mentally.
Chemical imbalance.
Correct. And, but most of us are actually, it's environmental. So if you grow up with a particular habit or you grow up seeing certain things, this goes back to your original question because I'm staying on topic. Marriages have a lot to do with staying committed to your vows, and trying your very best to stick to those particular things despite your outside sources. And oftentimes I think that there's a lot of married women that hang out with too many single women that are actually miserable. You have to understand who you're hanging out with. Are they single and just really, they understand that they're single and that's it? Or are you hanging out with single people that's actually miserable? And it matters because they give you different advice. I've hung out with I've been single and hung out with married women, but there was never I never gave them advice about their marriage. I don't know nothing about marriage. I'm not married. But girl.
Yeah.
But girl, I can tell you, it's really not all as bad as you think that it is. But not very many single women will tell you that. Like, it's just, you really have to, I think certain times, women stick so much to the sister code that we forget who to actually look out for. And I'm not saying that they're meaning any harm. They're only giving you advice based upon their own actual experiences. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. And it doesn't mean that they're awful. They're purposely trying to give you bad advice. It's just, that's what they know.
Scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Your best friend of, let's just say 20 years.
Okay.
Best friend of 20 years.
They're all here.
She's dope. She's dope. You love her. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You date a guy, let's say 5 years. Right? Date a guy 5 years.
Okay.
Don't try to place this on your actual life because I don't know what
no,
your
I
dating
know.
All right. So, best friend, young lady of 20 years, guy dated 5 years. A lot there, of course. Y'all break up. He starts dating your best friend. Who are you mad at?
Nobody.
You let him live.
We just didn't. Okay, so you're asking.
Are y'all cool?
You're asking a logical woman, so I need you to.
I'm asking. Who are you mad at? You said nobody. I'm asking.
Nobody, but at the same time, you're asking a logical woman, but how many women? Let's just be real. How many women don't? Most women react emotionally. Let's just be honest.
Naturally.
Okay.
Shit, niggas niggas showing their ass these days. So, go ahead.
I'm a little bit more logical. But no, I wouldn't feel away. It's not a loss. It's not a loss. What
you wouldn't even feel away? I think that's unnatural not to feel away. Like, you ain't even gonna be surprised or nothing. Y'all break up, a couple months later, he fucking her.
Well, no, hold on. A couple months is different because I'm gonna tell you why a couple months.
You know they don't wait. You know nobody waits no more. They get right to it.
A couple months is different, but again, as you said, you gave like a longer time frame.
What wouldn't be? No, I just said they do their thing
well,
right
I'm sorry.
after y'all.
In my mind, I was thinking a longer time frame.
What's a longer time frame? Because I don't even see a time frame for me. For my best friend,
a couple months is not even enough to even digest a breakup. Like, to be honest with you,
what would you say would be a suitable time frame for them?
To be honest with you, a year or two.
So 2 years down the line, you letting it ride?
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't care.
But for me,
it's not. It's.
This is why I ask you this. I got torn apart on one of my podcasts. I told them they can start dating the same day we break up. I ain't got no issue here.
Yeah, I don't know about
the reason I ain't got no issue here is because I'm going to suffer in silence anyway over the breakup. I'm going to grieve that anyway. I'm going to feel what I'm going to feel.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But I'm not going to bring it to y'all. You'll never see me sweat. I'm going to go through what I'm going to go through. Y'all going to put me in a position to box y'all in whatever box y'all need to put in. Anyway, whether it's 5 years down the line or 1 hour down the line, I'm going to feel the same way about both of y'all. Because I don't believe a relationship starts in 2 minutes.
No, and it doesn't. That's, again.
I believe y'all been building when we was breaking up. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said a year or two.
That's why I said, even if they get together 2 minutes later, I'm never going to say nothing about it to y'all. I might say, y'all just stay away from me for a little while. But I don't hate y'all.
Okay, so when you ask me that question, I'm coming with transparency, which means...
Girl, we know what transparency means.
No, I wasn't going to explain what transparency was. I was saying I'm coming to you with transparency, which means I'm gonna expand on that. So, given everything that you just said, That's why I said it can't be just 2 months, because they're if you actually give a shit about me, if there's nothing that was already going on prior to, I know how long, everybody knows how long it takes to actually build a relationship. I mean, that's just a fact. You don't just suddenly be like, oh my God. It's rare. I mean, it just happened to our grandparents in days where they'd be like,
build one?
Love. Yeah, which means, to build a love for somebody in a partnership, and you feel like, I'm going to marry this woman, you know her 2 weeks. I'm going to tell you something, what I've learned about people. If you don't want to believe something, you're not going to believe it. Cool. And I'm not going to sit there and try to convince you.
No, that's true. I ain't never tried to.
If you don't believe it, you don't believe it.
I ain't never tried to convince a girl I love her. So I